In this section of the video, we'll be talking about the Metastock Power Tools. The Metastock Power Tools are designed to help you, as a trader, identify trading opportunities in different ways. The first tool we'll talk about is called the Explorer. The Explorer is designed to help you take a list of instruments against a strategy, sift through that list of instruments, and identify which of those instruments is giving a buy or sell signal based off of the criteria you've chosen. Next, we'll talk about the Expert Advisor. The Expert Advisor will show you buy and sell signals on your chart based off of the criteria you've chosen. It will also give you a commentary and guide you through the trade based off of that criteria. Finally, we'll talk about the System Tester. The System Tester allows you to take your strategy against a list of instruments or against a particular instrument. Test that strategy, see how well it's performed historically, and help you understand if it matches the personality of the system with the security. With that in mind, let's go ahead and go into Metastock. The Explorer allows us to choose a criteria and then scan the market for instruments that are meeting the results of that criteria. So for example, if I wanted to search for 5-day high volume price, I could look for that. If I wanted to look for Bollinger Band buy opportunity sell-ups, I could do that. MACD buy and sell signals. So there's a number of different criteria that you can scan for pre-built into Metastock. Again, if there's something specific that you would like, you can actually Metastock has a great formula language that allows you to build your own scans. But we've tried to put in a great combination of scans in here for you to get you started. Let's actually use the momentum indicator. This particular scan will search for 4 different indicators at once: CCI, RSI, stochastic, and the MACD. So if it's a buy signal, it will generate a 1 for a buy signal or a -1 for a sell signal. Let's take a look at this. Let's go ahead and select it. And you will see a description here if it has a description available. Select Next. And then we need to select an instrument list from which we would like to scan. So let's go down and find, let's do the S&P 100 for this particular list. Once I've selected it, make sure it has Select All. We'll choose Next. And then we'll scan based off of a daily chart using today's date. And we'll start the exploration. So what the exploration will now do is we'll go through and try to match all those criteria to the instruments that match them. And you can see here it's filtering through each of these sequentially, and we'll pull out a result as soon as it's able to complete. Okay, now we have our report. If I choose the report dialog box, it'll bring up our momentum indicators scan. I'm just going to maximize this box just a little bit so we can see a more clear picture. And as we discussed as we began the scan, any of the stocks in here that have a 1 means a buy signal, a -1 means a sell signal. So if I can come in now and rank on any of these criteria to see if it has buy or sells. So let's start with the CCI over here. So if I double click on the CCI, it will rank it to bring buy signals to the top. If I click again, it will bring sell signals to the top. And I can do this with any of the columns. So the MACD has 4 stocks that are giving it a sell signal today based off of that scan. So that's one way that we can use the Explorer as we go through and identify our power tools. Let's close. And let's run one more example. Let's scroll up. And let's use the 5-day surge in volume. So this will look for a 5-day moving average of volume divided by the 200-day moving average of volume. So we're looking for surges in volume. We'll use the same list. Next. Same thing, we'll do today's date. Start. And it will go through and identify these surges in volume based off of that criteria for us. Okay, now I have my results. Let's click on the Reports dialog box. I can then come to the 5-day surge box here, double click, and it will give me the top performing volume surges over the last 5 days. So the ones at the top here with the highest number have the highest surge in volume over the last 5 days based off of that criteria that we selected. Okay. So that's another example of a way that we can use the Explorer to identify opportunities. In the Explorer, the combinations are almost endless on what you can do to create your own strategy and also use the ones built within Metastock. Let's begin by opening up a chart. We'll type in the symbol for the Dow, which is .dji. Next. And there's actually two ways to attach an expert advisor. One is from the Power Console, which is found here through attaching an expert advisor. Otherwise, we can go to the expert at the top of the screen when a chart is open. For now, we'll open it through the expert advisor in the Power Console. This is a list of all the included expert advisors that come within Metastock. Let's start with the Equus MACD expert. This is an expert that covers the moving average crossover divergence. We'll select the expert, choose Open Chart, and our chart will open with the MACD expert attached to it. Okay. Now that the chart is open, you can see the buy and sell signals on the chart. If we come up to the top and choose the MACD indicator through the indicator drop-down list, we'll scroll down, find the MACD, drag it over, point it to the top to put it its own window, and you'll see that the expert advisor will give buy and sell signals based off of the crossing of the signal lines as per the directions of the MACD. If we'd like to know more about the MACD, we can also right-click anywhere in our chart, go to the expert advisor, and go to the commentary window. This window is designed to give us insight into what's happening on our current chart, as well as the current indicator that we're looking at based off of the expert advisor. So this is the MACD overview. It will tell us what's happening right now on our chart and the different ways that the MACD can provide buy and sell signals. In this example, 3 different ways: through signal line crossovers, which are the buy and sell signals, through overbought and oversold conditions, and divergences. If I scroll back in time, you may see other signals, as in right here, where the bars are painted different colors. That will give me different insights based off of the MACD as well. If that condition is met, the expert commentary will update to reflect that. Let's return to our original date. If I'd like to see another expert, let's close the indicator on the chart. Select yes. We can change our expert by going to the top of the screen and going to the expert advisor. If I click on the expert, it will give me the list of options to attach to the chart. Another example is the Equus candlesticks. This particular expert will put on your charts when different candle patterns are happening. This can be a great instructional tool to help you as a trader identify when buy or sell signals are happening based off of candle patterns. Let's change our chart to be a candlestick chart so we can see the patterns a little more clearly. To do that, we just select the bars, come down to the bottom left here, change it to candlesticks, and now we'll have a candlestick chart. You will see that the Metastock Equus Candlestick Expert will actually give you all the different candle patterns on your chart as it proceeds. The same applies. It will walk you through the trades based off of the different patterns happening on the chart. For example, today we have a white body, and that occurred because prices closed higher than they opened. We also had an engulfing bullish line. And this will walk me through why it's an engulfing bullish line, and then after it explains that to me, will walk me through how to interpret that on this particular chart. If I would like to go back in time and understand what these other patterns mean, I can use the commentary back and forth buttons here. So if I click the previous bar button, I can then go over any bar, select it, and I can now see the information on that particular bar. So in this bar that we're pointing at, we have a hammer, and it will give me the definition of a hammer and what it means on this chart. Those are two examples of how we can use the Expert Advisor within Metastock. There are numerous other experts, and also you have the ability to create your own experts based off of your own custom criteria. The last introduction to the power tools we'll be doing is on the system tester. The system tester allows us to take our strategy, test it historically against any instrument, and see how it's performed over time. You can access the system tester two different ways. One, by clicking the System Tester tab on the Power Console, or by choosing the System Tester button on the Metastock toolbar. For our example, we're going to take the Relative Strength Index Expert System and then test it against one security. Now you can test against multiple instruments or multiple items at the same time, but we'll be talking about that in other workflows. So for this example, we're just going to test against one instrument. We'll be leaving the defaults, as we'll be going deeper into the defaults in the other sections. And then we start our system test. The system tester has taken and gone through all the trades over the last 250 days and will give us a result of how that system has performed on this particular instrument over that time. This is a result of what that test looks like. First of all, you can see our profit here. We had $6,159 in profit over 250 days. That was a 61% performance. If I had bought and held the same security over that time, I would have made $4,000. Down here you can see the number of trades. We had 4 trades that were winners, 2 long, 2 short. Here's my average profit and highest profit. Highest profit was $4,500. Unprofitable trades, I had 4 trades during that same period that were unprofitable. Highest loss, lowest loss is all dictated here. And then the system tester also walks you through the trade efficiency, how different accounting has worked, how much in commissions you paid, if you're putting in commissions, which we'll talk about later. So this really walks you through the trade. You can also see your orders tab, how the orders were actually placed, considered, and taken over that period of time, how the positions were handled. You can see your equity line, which gives us a view of how our money has done over time. And then finally, the System tab will tell us how this system works, and this shows you the Metastock formula language there for it as well. This has just been a brief introduction to the system tester. We'll be talking much more in depth about the system tester as we get into our workflows. So I encourage you to move on to the next workflow to learn more about the power tools and the system tester, Explorer, and the Expert Advisor. Thank you.